to me, this is a car for all occasions. When I first purchased it, it was my only car. So it wasn't a specials, weekends, rallies, grand tours, that kind of thing. It wasn't that kind of vehicle. It was to be used 24/7. In the early days, it was used as a commuting car, for example. It was used to drive to client sites for work. It was used to drive to railways, airports, and left for 5 days in a car park. And I think that's one of the reasons why this was a great choice over other cars that you could consider in the same field, so Bentleys, Porsches, that kind of thing, was that you could leave this parked somewhere and have a peace of mind that when you got back, it would be there in the same condition you left it. There's a certain respect for the badge, which means that it tends not to get undue attention in a bad way. I would leave it for maybe 2 weeks at a time and come back and it was still there, and if anything, you just found people have been smiling at it, taking photos of it, that kind of thing. So it was used as a daily commuter. Also, although it's a relatively high mark in terms of the prestige, it's something that I felt I could turn up to a client site in and not be seen in a detrimental way. It wasn't like driving some high-end hypercar where the response from the client would be, we're paying you guys too much, you need to be more business-like. So it was very much a everyday use car. It's been reliable, it's been fun to drive. You get out of it at the end of even a 9-hour day feeling like you've driven a few miles. Despite its sporty looks, it is comfortable and it is a GT car as well as an everyday commuting car. So the next plan's for enhancement, further modification. I think we've done a lot of what I would call the necessary modification on this car to get it from factory standard to something that is a driver's car that enthuses you to go out and drive it and makes you homesick for it when you're away. That doesn't mean the modification stops, however. I have a wish list. Every driver has a wish list. I think lessons from this year's rally were that a little more power never goes amiss. It was very stiff competition. You know, this car is now 12 years old almost. In fact, probably older, 13 years old. And it's up against the latest and greatest from the big names, Lamborghini, Ferrari, Porsche, Audi, Mercedes, Bentley, those kind of guys that are fresh out of the factory, have modern engineering, modern electronics. It may never top those guys, but it's nice to be at least competitive. So I think top of my wish list at the moment is probably to take the bold step of going to the engine upgrade, the GT4. So the 4.7 engine to give just enough more power to keep me level playing with some of the other entrants of that kind of field. But that's a decision that's not easy to take because, as there was 7 years ago when it was choose which manufacturer and which vehicle to purchase, the modification route takes the same way. Now this is a very compelling car, but the next step of modification probably starts treading on the toes of other options such as the V12 Vantage, which at the moment are available for very reasonable money. And I think personally we're reaching a point now where they won't stay at that price for long. They're going to start shooting back up again. We've seen that with other classics. To balance the extra power, I think the other thing I will do, and again, the rally has taught me this with modern cars with ceramic brakes and very clever braking systems, is probably go for the big brake kit. The standard brakes are perfect for 99.9% of the conditions you'll encounter, be it on a standard commute, be it on a spirited Sunday afternoon drive. But on track day or under certain race conditions, you may find they don't quite have the edge you need. And there's nothing more heartbreaking than losing out to a car that you really should be able to better because you've got to brake earlier and let him get past you. So that's probably the short-term plans for performance and that kind of modification. My original intention when I bought the car and fell in love with it within the first 6 months were, this is my forever car. This is the one I'm going to keep, touch wood, forever and a day. I think it's my generation's E-Type Jaguar. It's aesthetically amazing. It drives well. It's iconic, I think, or will grow to be an icon in the coming years and decades. So my original plan was to keep it forever, but things change. I think the one thing that is for certain is, at some point in my life, there always has to be an Aston. Having driven one now for so many years, I almost can't conceive a point of not having one somewhere in the garage. Whether it's this one or another one, I don't know. But it fills me with a cold fear of only having German cars or Italian cars or Japanese cars. There has to be something British in there, and if it's going to be British, it's going to be an Aston Martin.